she has all the money in the world. She can literally go anywhere, do anything she wanted. She can live anywhere she wanted on planet Earth. And she's a scientist. She's published. As a little kid, I was 5 years old. So my entire life, people asked me 2 questions. What happened? They said, what happened to your face? And how come you're older than us? Because I was a bake, right? We get just warm enough that we stay alive and then it grows food, and we don't freeze all the way, right? It's just cold enough that we have this mixture of seasons. What's changing my story was taking on this new belief that we've been talking about. How many of us get stuck with a story that can't get us where we want it to go? See, what's the challenge that we all face? Our food supply is not what it used to be. One of my clients, I do a lot of business consulting. One of my clients produces tens of millions. Man, I know I don't want to eat this. I know it's going to give me a belly bomb. But I got to have a bite. I got to have a bite. So when we talk about powering our body, and I don't believe that eating good has to taste bad. And then the other thing I like to do is I like to put some protein in. Now, this is not an infomercial. I don't get paid for this, but I've studied that say, you know, sex is bad and sex is dark and sex is dirty and wrong and all these different things. And then there's another extreme that says, do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. It all goes, go for it, go, you know, and your genes will be passed on. So there's all these things that are around this. So women have historically had to be very selective. And men, from the time they're like 12 years old, sex, do something that it can't do, that it was never intended to do, and it would never be able to do. And so if we want to have power, sex usually makes babies, right? Except for the last 50 years. Sex usually makes babies, and it ends up in this place of, do we want to raise some more caffeine? I know I've had this where I'm like driving along and I've been driving for too long and I've been drinking caffeine for too long, and I'll drink some more caffeine and it does nothing. It doesn't jolt my system at all because the adrenals are, and it becomes self-evident. Well, these natural laws of the body of aligning our body with natural law is how we experience recurring power. So there's this on your shins and straighten your spine. Hold your spine up. And now go ahead and fold forward again, this time a little bit deeper. And what you're going to notice is each beauty and incredible things, or we could focus on garbage and you know, genuine toxic things that go into our mind. What Facebook is this weird place where people only post the fantastic things that are going on in their life. Except me, I sometimes post challenges and things like that, but for the most, and I had forgotten about that visualization that I would do. And I looked around and I lived in the house I'd envisioned. And they had the dirt driveway under the trees, and the outbuild grows and expands and intensifies. And that reticular activator starts looking for evidence of those things. So one of the most powerful tools that I have found in reprogramming a religious idea or some sort of spiritual idea or some kind of connection with divine, it doesn't have to mean that. It can mean that for lots of have to learn how to get out of that chaos and back into a place of stillness. I believe that in order for us to live our purpose, we have to become something. And she was in this place of isolation and being alone, and she shared this story with me where in that place of desperation, she prayed one day. And she basically said, God, why is stress reduction the seventh law, the seventh irrefutable law of power? I'm like, well, how does that have to do with, you know, the having power in your body? And when we rest, we release stress. Dreaming is this way of releasing stress. But the problem is, most of us don't get enough stress. I mean, we want to be distracted by things, right? Shiny object syndrome, or distracting ourselves through entertainment and through media and all these different things. So if you think about how your brain is already working, and how thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for the impact and the difference you're making in the world. And I look forward to seeing what you create as you align your life with these laws of power.